Before having children, did you imagine that they would be loving, close, fair, sharing, and that they would never fight? So did I, and probably every parent on this planet with me. But you see, this was before kids. And since you're watching this, I'm guessing your dream hasn't come true. Don't worry though, sibling fights are normal, and with your help, they can become less frequent and intense with time. Stay tuned and I'll show you exactly how you can help your children become the best of friends. Hi, Ramona here with Encouraging Discipline. I bring you tools and support to help you develop more consciousness in your life and parenting so you can become more calm and confident. Most of the time. When we are clear on our values and know how to detach compassionately, we find it easier to create and hold boundaries that make us and our children feel more secure and connected. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe to my channel and visit encouragingdiscipline.com for more articles, freebies, and to find out how you can work with me. And while you're there, make sure you join my email list so we can keep in touch. In this video, I will talk about what to avoid doing when our kids fight. I'm going to tell you why siblings fight. Then I'll share some tools to prevent conflicts among siblings and how to intervene in sibling fights. And make sure you stick around till the end because I will tell you how you can get a handy cheat sheet with all the tips that I talk about in this video. So let's dive in. First, let's see what doesn't work. When our children are squabbling, it can be very triggering, especially because of the expectation that good siblings should never fight. And also, we might have been reprimanded and poorly guided in our own childhood whenever we had disagreements with our siblings. So what do? We yell, "Stop fighting, get along, share," or "That's it, time out for both of you." Sometimes we may try solving the problem for our kids. You each get the tablet for 5 minutes. Other times, when our children don't seem to listen, we may decide to take away their toys or screen or whatever they're fighting over. However, as you've probably noticed, none of these options works, at least not in the long run. Your children continue to fight, and they don't learn any conflict resolution skills. So let's see, why do siblings fight? You know they love each other. You've seen them share and be kind to one another countless times. So what is it that gets into them sometimes? There could be many reasons for this, but they usually fall under 2 categories: physical and mental emotional. Begin by doing a mental check to see if they could be hungry, coming down with an illness, or tired. Hit. Physical discomfort always makes it harder to find patience and generosity, even for adults. If your children's physical needs are met, then their emotional needs might be the culprit. Could they be feeling disconnected? Have you been busy lately and they haven't gotten their daily dose of mommy love or daddy time? Or they could feel disconnected from their sibling if he's the one who's gotten more attention lately. Another reason why children may be in the mood for a fight is if they've had a tough day at school or they're having a hard time dealing with some transitions. If you know your children may be challenged in any of these areas, expect to see more conflict among them. So, how can we prevent conflicts among siblings? There are multiple things you can do to prevent sibling fights. Today, I will talk about 6 of them. We can work on 1. Decreasing competition. 2. Teaching children the language and tools to use during conflict. 3. Focusing on mutual love and bonding. 4. Special time. 5. Independent playtime. 6. Family rules. All right, here's the first tool, decreasing competition. Sibling fights and competition can be decreased by doing 2 things: avoiding labels and not taking sides or blaming. So let's talk about labeling children for a bit. There are a few ways that we label our children. Sometimes we make comments about one of the children with the intention of showing our pride in something that they're doing well. When I say to someone, "Oh, our son is such a good drawer," My daughter immediately asks, "Am I a good drawer too?" If we're not careful, kids will assume the opposite. "Oh, my parents just said my brother is a good drawer. They must think I'm not. They must like him more than they like me." Of course, this isn't true. Sometimes we make the mistake of labeling our children as stubborn, wild, strong-willed. While this may be true, we should all avoid saying these things in front of them, and even better, try reframing these traits as positive ones. My child is determined, energetic, and confident. Sometimes we think we can motivate our children by comparing them with another child. "See how your brother picked up all his toys? Why can't you do the same?" Their conclusion will always be, "He's good, I'm bad." All right, next, avoid taking sides. In a disagreement, each child feels like they're right. Therefore, if we intervene in an argument and decide that one is right and the other one is wrong, we pitch the children against each other. In general, children will not blame the parent for making an erroneous decision, but they will blame the other child they were in conflict with. This increases resentment and competition between the children because they feel that one is more loved than the other by the parent. To learn how you can intervene without taking sides, keep watching. I will address it later in this video. All right, tool number 2, coach children by teaching them language and practical tools. Teaching children the language to express feelings and needs. First, we want to teach our children that it is okay to feel anger, but that acting on it aggressively is not wise because they can damage a relationship that is dear to them. Instead, teach children to express what they're feeling and needing with words. "I was playing with the race cars. You took them without asking. I don't like that." Or, "I want to read that book too. Could you give it to me when you're done with it?" Learning how to use words takes time, so the more modeling you do and the more time you give kids to practice, the better they will get at it. Next, teach calm down tools. Always teach calm down tools when the children are calm and open to this conversation. We tend to want to teach them in the heat of the moment, but that never works. Practice the tools together and explain to the children how they're better able to solve problems when they're calm. Then, when things get heated, remind them to use one of their favorite calm down tools before they attempt solving the problem. Make sure you click on the card at the end of this video to learn more about teaching children calm down tools and setting up a calm down space for them. Teach children conflict resolution. Children are not born knowing how to solve conflicts. They need us to teach them strategies. So when they're calm and open, teach them how to find win-win solutions and compromise. Discuss with them different scenarios of frequent conflict and brainstorm together possible solutions. Allow the children to come up with as many alternative ways of solving a problem as they can. And then you can add to their list your own options, such as taking turns for an agreed upon amount of time, choosing a third game if they each insist on playing a different one, doing rock, paper, scissors, taking a few minutes apart, and so on. Write down the suggested solutions and revisit them occasionally. Tool number 3, focus on kindness and bonding. You can create opportunities for expressing gratitude and appreciation for the other members in the family. When one of your children needs help, invite the other child to help. Try to notice when they are nice to each other. "Wow, you drew that for your sister while you were at school? You love her so much." Tell stories about when your children showed their love for each other. "When you were little, your sister used to love rocking you in your bouncer." Or, "When your brother was a baby, his face used to light up when you entered the room. He would always laugh at your silly faces." These reminders will stimulate your children's brains, and we know that where neurons fire, they wire. In other words, experiences shape changes in our brain structure. So you're prepping your children's brains for more love and connection toward each other. Another way to increase kindness and bonding is to play you against them. Have your children make a team and play against you. You can play tag and either you have to catch them or even better, they have to catch you. Your children will work together to trick you and get you. This type of teamwork builds a bond between children that is sure to reduce fights. The fourth tool is special time. As often as you can, plan to give your child individual time with you, each child. The child gets to decide what you will play together and make all play-related decisions. For special time to work, it is important that you be all in, fully present, and follow the child's lead. During special time, children get to reconnect with us and also to offload unpleasant feelings that have been bothering them. After special time, they can return to their sibling or siblings and play with more calm and willingness to cooperate. For more on how to implement special time, make sure you click on the card at the end of the video. Tool number 5, independent playtime. Allow each child a few minutes of independent time daily. They can choose to do whatever they want during this time. They can play, read, color, or rest. This might be a little hard for an extroverted child, but it can be essential for an introverted one. With time, even your extroverted child will learn to appreciate 10 minutes on their own. Have each child pick a space where they can retreat every day. Eventually, you will notice that your child will enjoy, or both of them, or all of them, will enjoy going to their safe spot by themselves when they feel overwhelmed. After recharging in this way, children will be better able to play together longer without fighting. All right, tool number 6, family rules. Another part of preventing sibling fights is clarifying and talking frequently about family rules. These should represent your family values, and they may be different for every family. Some of them may include, don't hurt myself, I won't hurt others, I won't destroy things. If I don't feel safe, I can get a parent. If I need help solving a problem, I can get a parent or a trusted adult. So these are the 6 prevention tools. By implementing even some of them, you will see a decrease in sibling fights and conflict. Your children will feel more connected to you and their sibling and more secure in your love. Additionally, by having the language to use clear family rules and practical tools, your children will feel more confident and calm. Now let's see how we can intervene in sibling fights. While you will see a decrease in the frequency and intensity of sibling fights, the squabbles will not disappear entirely, and sometimes your children will not have the resources to figure things out on their own, so you will need to intervene. When intervening into a conflict situation, you can follow the encouraging discipline framework. Bring awareness, ensure safety, connect, and guide. Step 1, bring awareness. Check in with yourself and notice, how are you feeling? Are there any tense areas in your body? Are there any feelings rising inside? Breathe and release tension. Then decide to keep quiet. Remind yourself to pause and listen. Step 2, safety. Walk over to the kids. If they're physically aggressive, then you firmly and gently get between them and move them away from each other. Keep them apart. You want to make sure that they're not hurting each other. Also, this is a time when you stop them from throwing hurtful words at each other. Step number 3, you connect. You ask calmly, what's going on? Allow each child to take turns telling you their side of the story. You just listen and repeat what they're telling you to make sure they agree with what you understood from their story. So you get a more or less objective understanding of what is going on. Marta Gerber coined the term sportscasting or broadcasting to describe this retelling of events that focuses on strictly facts. Then you want to empathize with each child sincerely, really try to see their point of view. Your job here is not to solve the problem, but rather to listen to your child's frustrations and empathize with them. If they release some of the feelings, they will be better able to think to use their rational brain in order to find a solution to the problem. If the children are too wound up and can't cooperate and be cordial, then call a timeout. Tell children calmly that you all need some time to calm down first so you can find a reasonable solution together later. Ask them if they would like to go to their safe spot or calm down space, and then you reconvene later to problem solve. Step 4, guide. When everyone is a bit calmer and ready to talk, invite children to suggest ways to solve the problem. Maybe they forgot to use their words and they can now ask their sibling nicely for the toy, or maybe they can apologize for breaking the construction their sibling made, and so on. The important thing here is for you to not offer unsolicited advice and solutions. The only time this is reasonable is when children seem stuck. But if you offer your children time to work out their differences, you will be surprised how creative they can be. Here are some reminders. There are 2 important points that I want to make here. One is to not force an apology. You may ask your children if they would like to give an apology, but forcing them to apologize will only fuel the resentment. In fact, psychologist Deborah McNamara from the Neufeld Institute has a great saying. She asks children, "Do you have any sorries to give? Do you have any sorries to give?" she says. Also, avoid blaming. Remember, both your children are right, or at least that's what they think. They do not act the way they do for no reason at all. Your job is to love and guide them both, or all. To clarify, by using all these prevention and intervention tools, sibling fights will not disappear completely. And you shouldn't wish for that to happen. Sibling rivalry has an important role in your children's development. But you also shouldn't allow them to become destructive and traumatizing, where the stronger child always wins and gets what he or she wants. However, the conflicts will make sense. You will have a better idea of why they are happening, and your children will learn problem-solving skills that will benefit them for life. If you model a neutral intervention, your children will eventually learn how to solve conflicts without blaming and becoming aggressive physically or verbally. Navigating differing interests and conflicts is a very advanced skill. Give children enough modeling, guidance, and time to learn how to use it successfully. Also, trust that they will learn in their own time. Let me know how these tips are working out for you. You can contact me at the email address in the video description below. Now, I mentioned at the beginning of the video that you could download a printable with all the tips that I talked about. To do that, there's a link in the video description that you can click and enter your email address, and I will email you the cheat sheet. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you found it useful, make sure you share it with your friends and family, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel by clicking the subscribe button below and the notification bell so you know when new videos are released. See you next time.